to our Human Services Commission meeting. I'd like to ask everybody before we begin to please say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello, Reverend.
Hello, Ed.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go around the room and ask for a roll call, please.
Joe Craigie.
Laura Esserbo.
Suzanne Sony.
Loretta Chang,
Sheila Tassi, recording secretary.
Brenda Steele,
And Julie DeMarco.
Excellent. Thank you, and welcome, Marty. Martin,
He's there. He's nodding. Thank you very much. You look lovely, Laura. He can't really, I don't know if you can see you.
nobody else came aboard.
We can't hear you. Oh, just, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All righty then, I'd like to ask for an approval of our minutes from February. I have one change. Lori MacArthur's name is misspelled. I don't know if that's something you're supposed to bring up, but it's Lori. Sheila, just for future.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else have any comments with
I have a
regards?
question,
Yep.
if I may, and this is with respect to the minutes on the charter.
Mhm.
And the comment, Julie, I was confused by the comment. Where it said, Mr. Marco expressed a concern that when they look at the commission versus the department, she suggested that they look at other commissions and other charters that have social services, the human services, because she is not sure that the commission should be making policy for how social services is handled. I don't remember discussing that. Maybe
Well, actually, that's probably a good correction because you are the policy board, but it was, my suggestion was to look at other commissions to see what kind of issues they look at and what kind of, stuff they should
that's
take
what
on.
I thought.
Yeah.
It just made it sound like what we were put in.
Oh, yeah.
in our comments.
Gotcha.
But should we read?
Yeah, Sheila, would you mind just, correcting that, just saying to look at, what other commissions do? Or, what other policies they consider?
Yes.
Thanks.
And then the other sentence that follows, what Julie says, there are processes in place and not sure that a volunteer commission impacting that is the way to go. But would be open to see how other commissions handle it. Again, I was confused by that.
I forget what that was about.
I don't recall that, I thank you, Joe, for bringing this up, because I didn't recall it being part of the discussion on the charter, but later on, we were talking, I'm sorry, I didn't print out, I made similar notations, but I didn't print it out. It was later on conversation, I don't think it was part of the charter discussion.
I mean, I don't have my minutes in front of me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And 6, we have Marty here.
Marty.
Yeah.
Marty's on the line.
So we have
I'm here.
He's, and you don't hear you.
I don't
You do hear me?
Yeah, we do hear. Oh, you can't
Okay.
see me, but I'm nodding profusely.
Oh, okay.
I was wondering, Julie, if it just goes back to the comment you said, that we should just look at how other commissions handle it. That's what this follow-up
Yeah.
was about as well.
So should I just omit that then, since we're gonna revise the earlier line?
It's not actionable, I would have went, because it's not an actionable, it's not a decision.
Right, yeah, it's probably a good idea. Just take it out.
Right, I would just take it out. It doesn't flow properly, won't have it in
I'm way more articulate than that.
there. Good pickup, Joe. What else you got?
That's all that I have.
Thank you.
So
Anyone else? Okay, do I have a motion to accept the minutes with the changes?
I'll second that motion, Madam Chair.
Okay, without further comment, all in favor?
Aye.
Passed.
Aye.
Love it.
Trying to turn Marty around so we can.
All
see.
right, now on to my favorite old business, Carolyn Berry, Board of Health. These are so good.
Okay, well, I just don't have anything seriously to say in terms of senior citizens. However, I will say that, cases are going down. We don't have problems with Elmira or, and in terms of the pandemic, so to speak, I think you all have read that there is a talk about the second shot. And
Booster,
it,
second
right,
booster.
second booster shot, it's not approved yet. And according to the Board of Health, there will, quote unquote, probably be a recommendation. Now, I listened, I'm alone, okay. So I listened to the radio, there's all this kind of crap going on. And they talk about, well, maybe the second shot should be required, and I'm like, so, but at any rate, Sands is saying that it will probably be. But that's as far as I can go. And the other thing is that he said that flu cases are very minimal here. So that's very. So that's what we're going.
Great. Anybody have questions? Carolyn. Commission on Disabilities. Oh, you have a question?
The minutes.
Sure.
I'm sorry, as Karen was speaking, I remembered the other thing I wanted to ask about. In terms of the minutes, when there's a notation on Carolyn's comments from the Board of Health, there's two parts to it. First was, the second part, there was a statement that said mothers don't want their kids to go back to masks. And I was questioning if that was a statement that the commission has made, or is that part of, if that was an appropriate comment to have as part of our minutes.
That probably was a comment that I probably shouldn't have said, because when you look at the Board of Health, put all of us on the internet, into the email, and over. So I mean, that's the, like, I finished the. And I thought, maybe I may not have said that way, I'm sorry.
Can we go back and omit that too? Okay.
Thank you. I mean, I read it, I don't know. It was like really.
Yeah, because you'll be noticed by it and that will be it. That will be your demise on that.
See, it's all of us on the Board of Health website. And the day after the meeting, he was sitting there and you're looking at it. It's kind of like, and so how do you do this? And how do you do that? You know, pro and con. And it was like pretty much even. Nobody really wants it. And, you know, so whatever.
Well, we already did.
If I let you, I'm sorry.
We're just going to omit it, yeah.
That's the whole thing, right?
No, it will stop at things are quieting down.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, because they even said that the hospitalizations are no longer. Should not switch in terms of, you know, however. They just quite.
Just one other point, if I'm in there. Did we go beyond it? Is it okay if I just ask one more question?
Go for it.
Is anybody discussing anything as of this variant of Omicron?
Yes,
Oh, I have that
it
question.
is approximately 10% in the state of Connecticut,
Mm.
but they say that it's not as bad as the other. So I have to leave that to your imagination as to what goes on with that. There's apparently no hospitalizations or whatever.
Oh, good.
But he did say that it is at least 10% in the state.
That really interesting. It is interesting.
And they're calling it Omicron too.
I have no idea.
Yeah, my doctor.
Just by hearing about it. So you
Yeah.
don't know too much.
But in terms of senior citizens, the flu is almost non-existent. So
Very interesting.
Well, that's one of the best, also.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah,
But Peter they said that last year.
Yeah.
and now going out as much.
Is it?
To contract.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
Because apparently the vaccine was not effective against this flu this winter.
Right. Yeah.
And it missed the mark, but because of other factors, it
Mitigated.
Really, I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
Some
it missed
flu
the
shots
mark.
we got.
That's what I heard.
That's why we wanted you here.
Now I'm gonna be careful.
Anything else on the Board of Health? Great. Thank you, Carolyn. Julie, Commission on Disabilities.
We had a great meeting in March. The commission is working with students at Sacred Heart doing an update to last year's or the year before is when they went to go out to different commissions to find out what they're doing. They're going back to find out what the accomplishments have been and what they're hoping to do. It's a nice commission of very dedicated residents. It's lovely. Not that, lovely matters, but it's, that they really are excited to be there. They're excited that the commission exists and, they're really excited to get to work.
When do you want to meet?
Every other month. So we just met in March. We'll meet again in May. We should probably, get them another meeting under their belt and then talk about, a liaison back and forth to the meeting so that everybody's informed and has a role with each other.
Okay, great.
Julie, who kind, I don't want to say supervises, but who works with these students? Is it like your office or?
Well, this commission is like, the Commission on Disabilities is like the Human Services Commission for adults, 18 and up with disabilities, visible and invisible. So anything student related is handled by the schools.
Okay.
So that any student things are supervised by the schools. With the Community Partners Program that works here, they're supervised by the schools.
Oh,
Yeah,
so does the Disabilities Commission get involved with it at all?
not with schools, no.
Yeah, but the one who's doing the needs.
I'm sorry, Sacred Heart.
Yeah.
I thought you meant, sorry about
I
that.
was just thinking about-
Those students,
Who's working with Sacred Heart?
they are supervised by their occupational and physical therapy students, and they are supervised by staff at Sacred Heart. They are led by, they're guided by the chair and vice chair of this new commission. I'm sorry, so sorry,
The
Joe.
disability.
Yes, of the Disabilities Commission. And they're working on a new survey, and because the first selectwoman has her every other week update, that survey, remember when we did it before, we were lucky to get responses. Now, we'll be able to send it out to 27,000 people and see if we can get some more information.
Wow, that's great.
It's great.
Yeah,
It's great.
That is really.
Yeah.
Great. And do you coordinate that with the chair of the commission?
Coordinates
The Sacred Heart.
well, they're guiding them. I'm like the liaison to it.
Oh,
Yeah. It is, it's great.
any other questions on the commission? I have a little business. I just wanted to thank everybody again for the involvement on the charter comments that is sent over.
I missed it somehow. By the time I got to your note, I was like, you said, I'm gonna just assume you're all right. I apologize. I must have missed that email. I'm sure you sent it. I just must
Yep.
have noticed it somehow, so I apologize.
Well, I think, really, we were all pretty much in consensus on what to send from our last month meeting. But Joe and I did, hone it down into, how we wanted to word it. I have not received we've received your comment email from them, so I don't know. Did you?
I'm sure they would typically email and say,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
they would
Well,
probably
they don't
read it
got
into,
They're still convening.
right, and they may read it into the minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. I wanted to thank everybody for that. Also, I sent a directory of this commission. I hope everyone got it.
Thank you for doing that.
Anybody that didn't? Those are my two old business points. new business. Julie put a lot of time into gathering this information for us on membership fees. We're going to try to have Jimmy Baldwin, the town attorney, speak to us today, but we thought, let's cover this before we have him come. And he, I think, is available in May. So.
I think it might be the April meeting.
Oh, April, I'm sorry.
Right.
I think I'm thinking of the April meeting. I know, I'm like, I can't get with the program, the timing. So, I don't know if everybody had an opportunity to read it all, and this is a new.
That was the Google Drive, but I did print out some,
Okay.
yeah, if anybody didn't see it.
All right, so Julie, I'm gonna let me take this over because
Yeah,
you're
thank
the
you.
expert and can guide us through all of it.
Perfect. I would love to take total credit for gathering all this information, but alas, I can't. Brenda is right here with me and has done a lot of work. Yes. So
Good job.
We love you.
we do love her. So I think what I'll do is I'll talk about historically what we've done and then leave to you talking about what other centers are doing. I blurted this out at another meeting and we did not have time to discuss it. And I really wanted to take the time to have a conversation about it because we feel pretty strongly about going forward with this, but we want your support with it. So what I've included, you'll see two Bigelow Center tables. I didn't highlight them for you, but I highlighted them for me. One is pre-COVID, and that is the more extensive one. The new printout has it. But pre-COVID, you can see that we had many more classes and you can see what the charges were. It's not,
Julie,
yep.
I'm sorry, Lori's wanting to be admitted in. She just next to me. Yeah.
Urban Marty, I'm so sorry to get this close to you. I don't. Sorry. I'm not sure why she can't get in.
I'm reading my WebEx for.
Oh, there she is. There she is.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
Sure. Are you also on your phone?
I was thinking you both. I hung up the phone and I'm sitting here like, they're gonna think I just was a no-show. I'm not a no-show.
Yes, we were completely judging you a few minutes. I'm only kidding. All right, you're all set.
Thank you.
Lori, welcome.
You know what I.
Joe, I have some back here.
Julie is in the process of giving us the historical background into membership fees. We are down under new business on the agenda, Lori.
So stand up and just talk while passing. And, okay, so pre-COVID, we had, so it's one in each of these, if you wouldn't mind just pass them and then pass this down this way. Pre-COVID, we had several classes that we charged for and several classes that were free. And when COVID hit, we bought a Zoom license and made every class available to the seniors at home for free. We didn't charge for them. We did not ask the seniors for donations for them or for anything to help us cover the cost of the Zoom class. When you look at the pre-COVID exercise classes, which is the longer one with the fees attached, you can see that there are, it's not half the classes, but there's a lot of classes that we did charge for. And anything call for information we did charge a fee for that. Pickleball, out of towners paid $100 a year and senior and Fairfield residents paid $25. That's why it says call for information. We paid our instructors who you see the classes for no charge, $30 an hour, which if you belong to a gym is very low. There's a yoga class that's called for information. That used to be a continuing ed class that the seniors would sign up for at continuing ed. And then when that class ended, they would pay a drop-in fee of $5 a class. That's why it says call for information. So a few years ago, 2 years ago in the budget, we increased the rate of pay for instructors to $50, which is much better. It's still low.
So do all of these classes require an instructor?
Pickleball used to, but and now it does not. So if you take your other sheet that does not have the fees on it, these are the classes we're offering now. It's fewer, but I just want to point out, in the old classes, some of these were half hour in length, not a full hour. So that's why it seems like more exercise classes, but there were a couple that were half hour. We would like to go back to the minimum of charging for the classes we used to charge for, but what we're proposing is to charge for each class and to charge a fee for pickleball as well. We're not trying to make money or have this as a revenue stream. We're trying to cover the costs of the instructors. We're not going to be able to add to that instructor rate of pay this year. I think probably in maybe 2 to 3 years, we're looking at doing that. And we know it's low, but we also have lovely and dedicated instructors who haven't asked yet. But if there's if there's requests and the instructors are making money in other places, we will have to revisit that. So we would like to charge the fee and provide a scholarship for anybody who can't afford, any resident who cannot afford to pay for the classes. So if we do 12-week sessions and we charge, for example, $3, that's $36 for a 12-week session. If somebody can't afford that, we don't want to turn them away if they're a resident. We want them to let us know quietly and privately and confidentially that they need assistance, and we are happy to help them with that. We have donations that can help cover that. But the other piece of it is if somebody is unable to pay for that class, it gives us an opportunity to find out if there's other services for which they're eligible. It's just a part of the conversation. It's not demeaning, it's not degrading, it's what we do with the lunch program. It's what we do if somebody is coming and asking for assistance for a different class, and we have other classes that we offer scholarships for. So it's confidential, it is not uncomfortable, and it's a way that we can make sure that those who can't afford the classes are getting the assistance they need, and we can help provide that. So,
Do you find though, Julie, that you're saying 12 weeks, for example, for $36 doesn't sound that bad, but do people come like the whole year? Because then you're talking a lot more than that.
yep,
And so then if you multiply that,
right,
what would that be? Let's say you come, I don't know, 40
yeah,
40 weeks, so then you're talking,
right.
Yep.
And some people don't, that's true. It's 4 semesters worth. You're right. Right now, pre-COVID, when we had that and they were paying the $5 a week, they were coming and paying the $5 a week, and that was around the clock. So that's why the scholarship money is available. That could be an issue. You're right. And it could be that somebody doesn't need a scholarship the first semester, but does need it the second, and that's okay.
And my other question, I think, is, does it sound better? I don't know, when I'm playing around with this, like, would I rather pay $3 every time I came or pay X amount and then kind of that, I don't know, which sounds better,
If you go to the Edge, for example, a monthly membership is $24.99.
Mhm.
And they have many, many classes that are free.
Right.
So this was always a challenge that we would have. We were competing with, workout centers in
Right.
town.
Well, the
prices
town
will stay
charge is $120 for the year,
What is?
but the town.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yes.
Charges $120 for the year, that's what I was.
But you don't
gonna
have
say.
instruction, you're on your own.
That's just the gym.
Yeah.
Right.
And things,
There's no comparison.
And so let's take yoga there, how much is it, do you know? Because
They
they
don't
don't
have
have.
the Edge has certified yoga instructors.
I
and we
think
don't.
maybe Parks and Rec, but not that fitness center.
So,
Parks and Rec.
I mean, we had the challenge, what I was saying earlier, is we had the challenge of competing. What would keep our mature adults coming to the Greenwich Senior Center as opposed to joining? So our classes were mostly free. I'm all for charging mostly for the account.
Mhm.
I did get outside businesses to help us pad the cost of the instructors. My yoga instructors were $25. Definitely, but I wanted certified instructors.
Right.
All
And
of our instructors, including myself.
Right. Same with us.
They didn't have to pay me extra, but whenever they had people come in, before I got my lifeguard's license, we had to hire a lifeguard on top of me facilitating the program for water aerobics. Then I got my lifeguard's license, that saved the town almost $200 a month. Crazy for a woman. No one. I'm just telling you. Even though I work at some guys are trying to keep the
I
costs
love it.
down. Right. And do you need to go to $5?
Well,
Three?
I just used a 3 as an example. That's a conversation that we should have.
Oh, well, but
Yeah.
with them, she didn't miss.
How many people typically attend each class?
It really depends on the class. So for right now, we have our biggest class is body balance and we've capped that at 40 and we're ready to maybe add 5 more spots because there's a wait list.
That's
Twice. That's twice a week.
You're not doing signups.
No, everybody has to register.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
We have our Tai Chi class, is offered twice a week. One day, there's maybe 12 people, and the other day, maybe 15. And we don't want to run a class for fewer than 10 students.
But we also may, if, depending on what we decide to do with Zoom, those people that are now continuing with Zoom may be coming in as
Right.
well.
Right. And we haven't made a decision on Zoom beyond June yet.
I'm sorry, so for the people on Zoom, if we did continue with Zoom, would we charge for
Mhm.
people on Zoom as well?
We would.
So it's 12 or 15 per class for the Tai Chi plus the people on Zoom?
There's not many on
Not-
Zoom.
There aren't many
Yeah.
anymore on Zoom.
Right. Most seniors are coming in, they want to be here. Body Balance twice a week has a couple of more people. Tai Chi does not, Zumba does not have Zoom, maybe 1 or 2 students.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that is dwindling.
Yeah.
so hard.
It is,
Yeah, it
it
is.
is hard, but we have, oh, she's a gift.
Yeah.
She's a gift. So I was using 3 as an example. That's something that we really do need to discuss. We require registration now. That's new for us this year. We're coming up to our full first year on that because to offer a class for fewer than 10 people is not a good use of our space.
Right.
And we're using the gym for different things now. Tai Chi is down there. You know, it used to be all pickleball all the time. And we have cornhole now. We have the Tai Chi in there. You know, there's more for everybody. So we're trying to upgrade what we're offering.
Julie?
Yeah.
What's happening with the pickleball lawsuit?
I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't, we're not part of it.
Group, yeah.
It's just, it was in the building.
It's a separate issue.
Yeah. That's,
Senior center.
that was a Parks and Rec program.
With my handing, except
I
I-
can't hear both of you well.
It wasn't a Bigelow Center activity. It was here, but it was a Parks and Rec program.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we're not involved. Right.
So my question, Julie, is right now, how are you funding these programs? Is it a line item in your budget and you're getting the income from the budget?
Yes, and if going old, we are paying our instructors. We have a part of our fees and professional services goes to pay these costs and part of our donations.
Oh, donation.
Right. And our donations really should be used for a more universal purpose rather than
Operating.
10 people for a yoga class. You know.
And do you ever, like I mentioned earlier, do you ever see the community out to see if they can't get some business sponsorships?
For exercise classes, because we need liability insurance and we need them to register with the town and pay for the town. If we had a business paying for them and we had their insurance, that would be great, but
I mean, if they make a donation to.
To be like the lead sponsor, in other words, this exercise class is sponsored by
It
someone.
helps.
we had a bar class, right? And
Yeah.
and a fall prevention, but not the ongoing regular weekly.
Julie,
We're-
regarding pickleball,
Yeah.
so the others I see are clearly classes, but is pickleball just making the gym available for pickleball at certain times during the day?
It
Or
is, that's a
it
great question.
instructor that's actually working with people playing pickleball?
So Marty was asking if pickleball had instruction or if it was just opening the gym for pickleball play. And that's a great question. It is, right now, there is no instruction. So we have no beginner pickleball players right now because we don't have an instructor. So we have made the gym open 2 days a week. So each Tuesday and Thursday, there's 2 different shifts. So it's 4 opportunities to play each week. We're actively looking for a pickleball instructor, probably for the fall. And that'll be another class. And we
Okay.
also will be looking for a new yoga instructor because our yoga instructor is not coming back. She'll do periodic workshops, but she's not coming back either.
I can recommend someone too.
Oh,
Thank you.
Maybe Brenda could shoot you an email.
Just want to make sure that I'm clear, that we're really looking just to cover the instructor's cost, is that, or do we want to cover our liability insurance, and are we looking to, you said we don't want to make money on it, but even only $3 a class, this is a profit-making business, if we're only looking to pay for the instructor.
Right. But, well, we could, it's also for equipment. It's for, we don't pay the liability insurance. That's something that the instructors need to come with. So they have their own private insurance for that, and the town requires
And
it.
then the town is listed on their.
Yes,
their-
exactly. It pays for the equipment and the overhead. They're using the gym. I couldn't break down the overhead cost for you, but I feel like, most places, and you'll see Brenda will talk about this, most places charge a fee. And we're one of very few who don't charge a fee. $5 we would make money, but also classes might not fill for $5. $3 we probably won't make money, but we at least get something to reimburse that.
Well, for $3, if there's 12 people in class, we've covered the instructor's cost.
Right.
So
Well, 36, right, right.
Paying
No,
$30.
50. We went up 2 years ago to 50.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we said it was 30.
Yeah,
It
well,
started as 30, we
Oh,
raised it
now
to
it's-
50, yeah.
Now it's already,
Right.
well, it's 50.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay, so it's $50.
Which,
So like 16.
that's a lot of money. I mean, the instructor's fees, they're doing it, twice a day or, right, twice a week.
Mhm.
It does.
Does help.
So that's why I asked, is there right now a place you're getting this money from?
Mhm.
And is it cutting into what's really needed at the senior
Right.
center?
When it was $30 per class and we were paying for a few classes, there wasn't an issue, and we had people pay directly to the $5. We didn't get any of that money. But now that, we're up to $50 and then there was COVID, we did not want to eliminate classes and we took whatever instructors we could get to make sure they could have those classes for COVID. That was important to us. So it's just now it's kind of just going back to a reset. And people will not be thrilled, but I think that, it's been great for 2 years to be completely free, and it'll be more support for the senior center to charge a nominal fee. All right, yeah, sure.
What I'm most know about is the lifelong
Mhm,
learning. That charges a fee.
mhm.
Oh, yeah, this is really nice, y'all.
And so the question I have on that is, so we already have something in place here where we charge a fee. If somebody can't pay the fee, do you have a scholarship program for them?
Well, they're a separate group from us, but they do have scholarship.
You say separate group, it's still part of the.
It is, it's here and it's under the senior center, but they have money and funding and do have a scholarship. So anytime anybody cannot swing one of those classes, they get covered.
Okay, so we have somebody, what bothers me, and I've been involved with a lot of scholarship committees and stuff,
Mhm.
when you start awarding help to somebody, you're opening yourself up to why her and not me.
It's not
I-
public. It is not,
No, and I
public, yeah.
understand that, but you say it's not public, but it's gonna get around.
Truly, have you ever heard of anybody on scholarship for lifelong learners? Ever?
Well, no, because, but maybe we're just lucky. I mean, I'm just, maybe I'm of the old, I always look at the downside of things. And I hate to see ourselves in a position where you're giving aid to her and not him or him and not her. So you don't see that as a problem.
I don't.
We haven't had that with the lifelong learner.
We haven't had that with lifelong learners,
Okay.
lunch, our art programs with scholarship money for. No, because staff is very well trained on confidentiality, and that's not a coming in and talking at the front desk chit chat. It's more of a, somebody might say, oh, I would have liked to have taken that, and that's we sweep them away and say, oh, how are you interested? It's not a process that concerns me.
Okay, and you award the scholarship, not because someone comes in and bitches about having to pay money. They have to make a case where $36 a month is going to throw my budget out of back or something like that?
We don't document, it's gentle.
Okay.
It's, some people don't come in and ask for help just to complain. Typically, if somebody is uncomfortable because they can't afford it, we're well aware of people who wouldn't be able to. If somebody typically would take a lifelong learner class and hasn't, because say it's music and they always take that class, we'll ask them, you know, what, how come you didn't sign up for that? And then it's more of a conversation. We don't ask for documents as we would, hi, Mary Ellen, in social services for financial assistance programs, but it is a much more gentle conversation. If somebody needs the help and asks for it, that's a hard thing to ask for. So that's half of the assessment right there. You know, because it's not that much money. It's more, if somebody's complaining about the price of it, you know, we'll listen to them, but we don't say, hey, let us cover it. There's much more of a conversation. And the other, I just wanted to mention, as long as we're on lifelong learners, which has nothing to do with this, by the way.
Right.
They are changing their fee structure as well, so it'll be a lot easier and more affordable the way they're doing it. So stay tuned for that. It'll be there won't be the membership fee. It'll just be a per class charge, and they might bump that up a little bit. But any other questions on the scheduling part of it before I turn it over to Brenda for the other information? Take it away.
So really, I'm just touching base on, you know, that Julie printed out and you all have in front of you, you know, what many of the other senior centers are doing. And so what we're proposing is not, you know, it is not, we're the only ones doing it. I mean, the majority of other senior centers do charge for their classes. As Julie said, that between 3 to 5, that was just the range, and that's something that, you know, everyone can talk about. But, you know, most of our neighboring senior centers all charge for their classes.
Is your proposal to put it out there, we're going to start charging and give them a little time, or are you just gonna slam them when they sign up?
If this commission decides to allow us to impose a fee, then come July, we'll certainly give them lead time, but we're not, it's more of a policy decision and how not a survey.
Okay.
And now that we're running in semesters, which is working really, really well, and is just kind of just a very fluid structure for us, I think that will just assist with the charging. So you don't just pay for one class, you would be paying for the semester. You know, so you'd be paying a flat fee, whether it's.
Unless something drops in, you said about there's.
We would not have
We
dropped.
don't have
You
drop
know,
ins.
you mentioned.
Oh, so you.
No, we used to have drops.
Segment, you're saying?
Well,
You're not paying $3 every time you
No.
call.
Yeah, you're paying for the semester because you're registering for the semester. So similar to other gyms, you know, generally if you're taking a class, I mean, well, some gyms it's just walk in, but here you're registering for the semester. And that's really worked out well. It holds people accountable for coming. You are taking a spot and people are starting to realize that and
it organized.
yes. And we know now, you know, who we can expect in the building. So it's also, we know who's coming into the building. It's not just this open door where just anyone is kind of coming in. We know, I mean, anybody can come in who is a member and just be in the building and utilize many of the other services, which we do offer for free. But it just, you're signing up, you're here for a purpose for those classes. You know, you're coming for your class and then maybe doing some other things too. But, so as I was saying, you know, most of the other senior centers do charge for their classes. We already have some classes that we charge for. Our Spanish class, people already know they have to pay for. Our art class, people pay for.
I
So
was
there-
gonna say, when you say class, it's really just the exercise class that you're addressing.
Yes.
You know?
I mean, the amount of other things that are just here for our members, you know, the library, the coffee hour, the entertainment that we do provide out of our budget, the speakers that we provide that are free, our daily activities that people are here for all the time, our pool room, our ping pong room, our game room, you know, we have canasta, bunco, garden group, we have mahjong, we have movies twice a week. Mondays are classic movies, which has a huge following, and Fridays are our current movies, which also have a huge following. I mean, these are all things that we just offer as a member, which we love providing. So there are a lot of free opportunities. So really all we're asking for is, you know, the exercise classes for whom we pay, for which we pay an instructor for. So, you know, it's right here, it's the printout that, are the fees, you know, you can see.
This long sheet, that has, you know, the eligibility age, the residents, who runs it, is from the, Connecticut Association of Senior Center Personnel. That's the 169 towns. So this has been gathered as a group. Brenda is on that board and gathered as a group, all of this information. And it helps us also with the membership fee, which we'll get to, but you know, it's a good it's not everybody, but it's most of the towns. It's great to see what they charge and how they run things and what their budget's like and staffing. This has been really helpful for us.
Yeah. We can use this when we were doing our survey.
Yeah.
Brenda, would you be charging them, I think we talked about it last time, would you be charging residents the same as non-residents, or
Yeah.
would you be charging non-residents more?
Well, no, it would be, for the classes, it would be the same.
Okay.
But
For the membership,
But you're proposing an out-of-town.
Yes.
yeah,
So the
flat
other
rate.
one would be to charge non-residents just to be a member.
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah,
And then they would pay their $3.
yes, they would pay also. Mhm.
What the benefit that the town residents have is they have a week in advance, you know, they have the first week to register and then the second week out of towners can register. It's not that we don't want out of towners, they're about a quarter of our membership. It's that we want to give that benefit to town residents.
Yes, so when we started the semester kind of schedule, that we started that as well, where Fairfield residents have priority for a first week. And then the second week out of town members. And that too has worked really well. And I think the Fairfield residents really appreciate that. And they really appreciate that. Go ahead, sorry.
First of all, I'm Mary Ellen Gavin, and I apologize for being late. I did try to sign on. It's impossible for me, but anyway. So I may have missed this information. What's the income stream on an annual basis are you projecting for these exercise classes?
We'll have to get that to you. I don't know. It
Yeah.
depends if we have everybody, we didn't even put that together.
Yeah.
I could ask you if you did the number.
Yeah, I mean, we could, while Brenda's talking, I'll try to do some.
What you're looking at, your cost benefit analysis to the senior center.
Well, just take body balance with 40 people in the class.
Right.
Twice a week, that's $3 a person, right? So
Twice
that's,
a week, that's $6.
that's 120.
Right, well, not everybody takes the same class. They're a little bit
Oh,
different.
right.
So you would take one probably. Right.
That's actually a good one to look at.
Yes.
I'd like to ask if there's been an exploration to other models rather than a per class fee. This could really add up. If for people who I could see are 40 to 45 people in their bodybuilding class drops dramatically. And especially if there are people who attend twice a week. So if we looked into an annual fee?
We
and-
have.
And the flat fee, unlimited classes, or a monthly fee, unlimited classes, or a one fee per month for classes, or per 3 month, 12-week sessions. You can pay one fee for all 12 weeks, or if they want to do drop-in, it's a different fee. Then you pay the $3 or $5.
But then.
We have looked into that.
Yeah, and then there would be the issue of you're paying that, but you may not get in. And then what do you
Right.
do?
So.
Right, so we,
Max out of
The classes.
the drop-in.
right.
I could just see this becoming expensive.
Well,
And
it,
for our fixed income, we want our community to participate. This is health.
Right.
So we want to encourage people to participate. And I completely agree with you in terms of scholarship. I'm a believer if someone says, this is just too much, I don't need to see your numbers, then it's done, you're not paying. So I'm not looking for that. But even for people who they're not gonna, it's not too much, they can pay for it. It just is a little bit uncomfortable. It's gonna get cut off that list. And I don't want people to not participate because it's gonna cost them $20 a month for those classes that they want to do.
okay, so a couple things.
Yeah.
We've looked at a lot of different models. What we need to do is know how many people are in the class. So we need people to register. So to have a flat monthly fee, we don't know how many people will show up for the class. We need to know a minimum number so that if we have an instructor, we know we're getting bang for our buck. If we don't want to have 3 people in a class, and that's happened. So the other piece of that is our seniors are ages 50 and up. It's not necessarily a frail group of people coming. It's people like us coming to exercise class who are coming because the classes are free. And they register for a 12-week session and they show up for 3. They go to Florida for a few weeks, no offense, Marty. And then they come back and, so other people are boxed out of a class because they took that spot and they knew there would be a wait for 6 weeks. So we've looked pretty closely at the attendance of the classes and have a good sense of who would need assistance. And that's something we can handle in advance. You're right, there's somebody who might be on a cusp of whether or not they could afford it. And that's something we can address pretty quietly and in a dignified way. And we can say, if somebody's never taken a class, please try the class and see if you like it. But this model works. It works. The registration piece of it works. The financial piece of it would be new. But
I mean, I look at Hartford and it's interesting, and I know you're gonna go through it, Brenda, but I mean, they charge a membership fee for a resident, which is $20. All programs free. So, I like that approach too, because it's clean. You're just getting an income to be a member, and you can just go about your business and nothing to calculate.
But it doesn't eliminate the attendance, how many people are per class.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
You would still have to know. I would not support charging
Membership.
a membership fee for residents. I think that the
Well, yeah,
seniors.
because the mentality of Fairfield residents over a certain age are, I pay a lot in taxes. Why do I have to pay this?
Well, they do deserve it.
No, I know I do.
You have to understand this too. This is another point that a lot of them are still looking for.
Mhm.
I mean, just when you hear the word senior center, it makes you feel like a lot of our 3,600 member database, which is probably huge now, we're working on it. If it wasn't a paid job, might have been a volunteer job.
Yeah.
Still are vital to the community.
I tend to take care of more of the supervisor. I will give you an example. I have a patient that right now is at home hospice. The wife loved the Tai Chi class. Things are very tight for her. I've encouraged her to come back, and she will not come if she starts seeing a fee structure. You know what I mean? So it's
Just your
The
mindset.
concept, yeah.
So these super seniors that are out of fixed income, I don't know if we, now let's call it age discriminating, whatever you want to call it, and they have built this town, and they haven't gotten a lot back for what they have contributed. And so. for
But that's
those
a
reasons-
that's a perfect case of a person who we would help.
No, I get that,
Mhm.
but the dignity involved with that,
Right.
I'd rather not.
I know.
And then I look at this, and there are 179 municipalities in this state, so this is 30. So these are the 30 that charge. What are the other 149?
That's this long sheet.
Okay, because, no, I hear you and I hear what you're saying, but I see the budget, I look at the budgets, I'm not a budget expert, I'm in medicine, and I see what other appropriations are happening in this town, and I see proportionally what isn't happening for our seniors, and I feel that this is a gift we should be giving back to them. And so I don't support charging fees, and I don't know what to do about the attendance and this 50 to 65 group that's taking advantage of it. But
Well, they're allowed to be here, so.
Yeah, and I don't feel as though they're taking advantage of it. Our frailer seniors are doing fall prevention, tried this bar class, we're looking for a chair instructor. So there are opportunities. That's an exception to the rule. And I hear what you're saying. The frailer seniors who come to our lunch programs are the ones I protect. They're coming to socialize. They're not really coming to exercise. They're coming to socialize. So we're trying to make sure that we can provide as many opportunities as we can for exercise. But one of the issues we ran into with the pre-COVID instructors were, you'll see that there's one instructor who used to teach several times a week.
Yeah. Right.
He makes more money, several different places, and we couldn't afford that. And she wasn't available anymore because she didn't want to do Zoom, and all the other instructors from here did Zoom for us. She was not, she didn't have to do Zoom. She's wonderful. She's a fabulous teacher. Everybody loves her, but she was given other opportunities that we couldn't give. So, you know, I hear what you're saying and I respect it. I get what you're saying. It's just, you know, without respecting our seniors enough to know that they don't need a gift. If we charge for something and they make that payment, they're going to come and they're going to feel, they're going to be a part of something. You know, to assume that everybody wants everything free doesn't always provide that dignity either. You know, it takes away that ownership and that self-determination.
I mean, I think you guys know your members better than any of us.
Yes.
And that is the truth. I mean, they see them on a constant basis. And you kind of probably have a barometer for who will not want to do it and who will, right?
I think
So
it's-
if you just,
I think you can
just
educate them,
percent,
let them know what's
yeah,
coming.
what percent of your members that are currently participating do you think will give you a hard time? 10%, 5%?
A hard time about paying a fee?
Yeah.
I think probably half.
Oh,
But-
50.
but
It's high.
But take what we used to charge. They paid that willingly. But I can get a sense of maybe of seniors participating in the classes, the larger classes like the body balance. I would, before the registration, have a conversation with those I would be concerned about dropping out because they wouldn't be able to afford it, because we can help them stay in it. They still have to register properly, but you know, that we do know our seniors well, and we do know that we need to provide opportunities for new members, but also preserve and respect the members who have been here a long time and are aging out of the ability to do some classes. Some of these classes, they don't want to do Zumba. It's hard on the knees, and a lot of our seniors aren't doing it. We have to find new instructors and new offerings. Right.
Or do you cherry pick some of the extra senior friendly courses, like Tai Chi is a really good
Mhm.
program for balance disorders.
Right.
Especially for Parkinson's patients.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And so,
Yep.
so do we offer those classes free, aiming at that super elderly group or, you know, pre-disabled group? You know, and I don't understand a lot about your budget process. But are we cutting our nose off to spite our faces in that, should this organization be asking for a bigger budget next year to cover this? And are we responding to budget constraints right now? Because, I mean, this has been a very flush year for the town of Fairfield. You know, it's been a very flush year. And, you know, I know we got air conditioning and heating, the HVAC system, but again, proportionately, how much is this center getting, you know, in those dollars? I mean, who's their voice? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm concerned, I'm very concerned about that, which is one reason why I wanted to be on.
Right, we are the voice, but this commission doesn't address budget issues. So the budget that I put in. And it's not a policy issue. So that's, I mean, I'm happy to share it with you for, you know, to have your opinion of it, but it doesn't impact how we do the budget.
No, I understand.
Okay.
I'm not asking to see the
Okay.
budget, like,
Yeah,
no.
but you could. Right, but I do want to, like Tai Chi, right, Tai Chi, for example, those people coming are not the frail elderly for the free class. Even on Zoom, they're not. We have half of that group is coming from Bridgeport because it's a free class, and the instructor is from Bridgeport. It's a free class, and they are not frail elderly. They are not that group that we're addressing, and they're coming and they're doing great.
I think it's how you market it also, because I think right now you have to think about the gas prices too. People are gonna say, well, it's more expensive to drive here, and then now I have to pay for the class, and, you know, so I think you've gotta be prepared for what you're gonna hear. Because I was just in Delray Beach last week with my mother-in-law, and I think I've brought this up before, and there's a senior center we're trying to get her to go to, and it's $85. The classes are free, but it's $85. So last year we talked to her about it, she refused to do it. So this year, we called them in advance and we paid the $85. And she's all for it. The bus is gonna pick her up and she's ready to go because she thinks it's free.
Well,
You have to trick off.
The real mindset.
It is, she is. And she's one of the super seniors. She's a healthy 95-year-old, but she wants to go to chair yoga and to play mahjong and canasta and whatever. But she thinks now it's free and a bus is coming for her. All this in a bus.
Right. Yes.
Can I just add that, the exercise classes that we're talking about charging for is a part of this center, is just one part of this center. Maybe even a quarter, 30%, the rest is free and open every day with a variety of free programs, free activities, free opportunities for engagement, socialization, to get nutrition. We have nutritional, presenters, we're wellness. And so just keep that in mind. This is just a part of the center, and that it's a certain group of people right now that we've been seeing over the last year. And the other thing I just want to add, as far as if we think people will, how will they react? I mean, of course, in the beginning, change is hard. So it's going to be reactionary. And then, like everything else, I think everyone will see the purpose, and it's such a nominal amount. I know that it may not be yes for that, frail senior on a fixed income, but we also have the social work department also has their, hands on that group or that person or those seniors. They already know about those people who are in need. So I just want to say that.
But that's why I think Mary Ellen had a good question going back to, what does this mean dollar-wise? And I know I hate to bring it back that, but you already are thinking of doing a charge for non-residents, just as a membership.
Yes.
Okay, that's going to be a block. But I mean, I'm looking at these activities for which you may have a charge for that you've never charged before. And when I understand pickleball they always charge for pickleball. Okay, so that, to reinstate that, it's not a change. So the only classes that we're talking about are the Tai Chi and a few other, the body balance, and a few of the other things. So we're not talking about all of that. And so those things, how much are we giving up if we don't charge for body balance and Tai Chi? Because the Tai Chi, as you mentioned, if this is something good for people who have Parkinson's disease, I know people who are under 65 that have Parkinson's disease. So I mean, I don't think it's necessarily an age issue, right, man? So I mean, is it possible to do that, actually, to do it in segments? So let's bring back the charges for pickleball. And the other health things that are here, what would that really mean dollar-wise for you guys if we were to not charge, or if we were to charge?
Well, I mean, I'd be happy to put that together for you, because that is one thing I didn't think of putting together. The basics of the classes we charged for, Tai Chi and body balance and strength. I mean, you look through what we charged for and pickleball. So if we even just reinstated those costs, as I said before, the Tai Chi people are not frail elderly. These are seniors coming from different towns doing it. So it's the money-making part of it is that would be great for us, because we just did 2 years worth of free lunches, 2 years worth of transportation, 2 years worth of free classes, that we would have a little money back into the general fund. That doesn't bother me in the least. We have done an enormous amount of freebies, lovingly. But when we asked for donations to help cover those costs, we didn't expect any, and we really didn't get any. So to have people paying for the services and the classes we provide that we had been charging for before, to me, that's a no-brainer. Adding the other ones and maybe having it $3 so they're paying a little bit less. Pickleball would be I don't know what we would charge for that. I wouldn't go back to out of town $100 and $25 for everybody else, but charging a per class time, I'm not uncomfortable with that. And we're not looking to get rich off of this. We're looking to have our classes valued and to have.
And also the accountability factor.
Yes.
That's huge, Joe, because then accountability.
Oh, yeah, no.
You're charging something, just something.
It is.
Fall into the accountability.
Oh, yes. But I mean, to reinstate something you charged before, I think is.
That was easy to do.
Once they get a question,
On the pre-COVID list, it says body balance with Laura on Friday, there's no charge.
Right.
And the one on Tuesdays, there was a charge.
Yeah, we added an extra class because they requested it.
And there was no charge for the second class.
But for the Friday class, that was free
So initially it was free, and then because we did it again, we charged.
because we added the Tuesday. Yeah.
And how's the attendance between the two, the free one and the one that costs money?
Back in the day, because now everything
Right,
is free.
now
The free class had maybe in the 30s and the free class had in the 80s.
Wow.
And that was too crowded. And the paid class had in the 30s, which was more appropriate because it's a class on maths.
80 people?
Uh-huh.
Yes, yeah, that's-
Yep. But it was a free class and it was not frail elderly.
That Hitch has that.
But honestly, that's, maybe it's need to be, that's somewhat, maybe we should be targeting those elderly, because those are the classes they should be at. The three that I'm looking immediately is yoga, balance, and Tai Chi for the super elderly, so maybe. But it's free. I don't know how to do that, because you obviously know your system, but those are the things that are benefiting.
Right.
Fall prevention, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So
I don't disagree with you in the least, but we're not getting that frail elderly group here.
you need to be reaching out to them more to explain that these programs, they don't know about balance class.
Right, but
Now, they don't
that
understand
is something we should be doing. I totally agree. And we do try very hard to get that information out there. But the audience we have for these classes now can afford it. So are we hoping to get people coming? Yes, definitely. And can we make those opportunities available? Love to. We have a little wiggle room in the size of the class. So if you had 3 people who you thought would benefit from body balance and you let them know to call us to register, that's something we can make room for. We can't do that for 8 people, but we can do it for 3. But that's not our audience right now. And I don't want to, I want to encourage and get people to come, but we have people here now who can do it.
Yeah, I'm hearing it.
Yeah.
It's really a double-edged.
It is, it
sword.
is.
I appreciate your input. I'm not being critical.
Oh, I get
but
it.
It's just kind of like, I'm going back to, again, this is an expensive town with a big tax base.
Mhm.
And, I know this year is this year, you put in your budget, and that's your job, and whatever. But why aren't we asking for a bigger budget for this, to provide the services for our seniors? Why are we not doing that?
But Parks and Rec isn't free. I mean, it gets to what, does everything have to be free in town? And there's a lot of things that are in town that are for everybody or different age groups that are not free.
Yeah, but Park and Rec has, those kids are in our schools that are free, getting lots of services. These seniors aren't, this is all they get.
Well, Parks and Rec is not just kids. Okay. But Parks and Rec also has adult programs that people are paying for. And continuing ed folded because there wasn't enough involvement in it. And so this is, there's very, there's so much to it. I get.
And we
Yeah.
do have Frail coming in for our, we had close to 90 people here for our Irish celebration.
Nice.
We had over 75 people here for our Valentine's Day celebration where we had entertainment and certain, I think
And
we
you
had
don't charge
20.
those.
Exactly. No, so we do, they're here,
Well,
they,
this is a little bit of a sidebar then. So from a fall prevention standpoint, having a physical therapist coming in and talking to them during their Irish thing and during their Valentine's Day about the importance of balanced courses. You know what I mean? Because the amount of falls, you have a fall, there's 70% mortality.
we just had a prevention fall this week.
Yeah.
We had over 20 people.
But I do want to say that this is a social place. I get what you're saying about making sure the education's out there and we try to publicize things, but we're not going to, at a big crowded event, talk about fall prevention because it's that people are coming and going. They're self-determined, they're independent, and we've got to respect that. There's it is a double-edged sword. You have to really
say it, but it can be a little bit of a turn off.
it can be.
Senior-centered people don't want to be late.
Right.
I just talk amongst us. I worked at Nathaniel Withrow for 20 years, and before I went 13 years at the Greenwich Senior Center, so I worked with both.
She doesn't want older people to be referred to as seniors. They don't like it.
Well,
They don't always like it. Yeah.
I'm not saying they don't, but we got away from the word senior, we started calling them 55 and better. But certainly, if you run a their class, learning on it, the instructor, when they get their licensure, you're trained to run classes at an intermediate level, and what we would do is we would put certain 100-year-olds that we had chairs, and they followed along in chairs. Works. It does. You have to integrate, but those are very few and far between.
Brenda, what did you want to review with us this on your?
Really, it was just showing you, the amount of centers.
Does charge. Yeah, what is the total? I mean, there's 169 and 169, how many charge for classes do we know?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you got the sheets.
Yeah.
So I want to respond to something that Brenda, you said, and that was about all the other free services that we have here, which is fabulous. I envision the services that the population who accesses the exercise classes are not necessarily the same people who are coming for lunch.
Mhm.
And you may have a 70 or 80-something-year-old person who is not interested in coming for lunch. It doesn't mean that that's not what they're looking for, but they're active and they're sharp and they participate in the exercise classes. So it's a different kind of population.
Definitely.
And I don't want to sort of segment and say, well, we go to these things that are free, these things we have to charge you for. And I don't think that it's right that we necessarily differentiate it that way, because we're meeting a different population. This population wants those services and this other population wants these. And we want to have parity among all of our people who access the services.
I'm not sure that's what you meant, but if we have a 70-year-old coming to exercise class, she comes in, I'm just thinking of, Deborah, who was here, comes in at 5 of 10, goes to class, leaves at, 5 of 11 when the class is over and bolts. They're not coming and staying. Unless somebody is taking a bus, they're coming and going. And that's not a frail elder.
That's my point.
Right.
That's
So
my point.
we do have something for everyone.
But no, I
What's the challenge?
Some are fee structured and some are not. That was my point. That population, that the person you just referenced, would not be accessing the free services, only the fee for services.
no, it's across the board. No.
Because that is free.
Yeah,
Well, not, once we start charging money.
yeah, but
It also belongs to a gym.
What they're interested in doing.
that's not the purpose, just so
So
you know,
who's
it's
gonna
not
do
just
the
the
transactions? Is it gonna be each class you're gonna be taking?
No, it's a registration for 12 weeks.
And they register
Right.
online? Okay.
Yeah, or we help them to register, right?
Oh.
So if somebody does something like, it's hard because we don't have the class now. There was a senior exercise class that was an arthritis class that was at 11, that the instructor's not here now. Somebody would take the bus, and I'm not saying everybody, I'm using in my head an example because there really weren't that many frail elderly, taking it. But back in the day, somebody would take a bus, arrive here, walk down, take the class, come back, and either wait for the bus home or have lunch or have a cup of coffee or go to the library. But so somebody who is not physically able to drive him or herself here is a buser if they live in town. So that, that kind of member might be interested in the body balance or Tai Chi. They're not staying for Tai Chi. That's not the group that's taking it. So, it's hard to paint a easy stroke about what's gonna work and what isn't, in terms of how we're gonna draw in those elders. And I completely respect that. That's a group that we worked very hard with. Brenda coordinated the call center to get those seniors vaccinated and to make sure they were engaged. And we have an iPad library so they could do iPad classes. And people didn't take advantage of it. They weren't interested. And we called people like our regulars who weren't coming anymore to see if they would take the iPad and do the Zoom, and we would show them how to do it. They didn't really want to. It's a socialization that they were coming for rather than the class. My hesitation about only charging for what we used to charge. I mean, pickleball, I think we all agree is kind of a no-brainer because that's a youthful.
Yeah, can you go over that with me because I'm confused? isn't there a membership fee for that?
No, that's when they were independent and ran themselves. And what we learned from what Carolyn had brought up before was that that's not a model that works for us.
Okay,
That's not a chance that we're willing to take.
Got it.
So we are going to run that program ourselves.
okay,
So,
thank you.
yep. So the classes that we are offering now, as they are not attracting our frail elderly because, either they're not ready to come in at, the bus won't get them here until 10 or 10:15. And that's Zumba for those classes. Morning exercise is a pretty popular class, and that seems to be an older group, maybe 75 and up. And it's full, they're coming and getting there themselves. Yoga, as I said, the instructor is moving on. Weight training is another class, that's a seated class. So I think that, and we did used to charge for weight training. And then we made it no charge right before I made this. But I'm not uncomfortable charging a fee. I don't know. We went back and forth this afternoon as a staff about what would be that fee. I liked $3. I could see the benefit of $4 to $5, but we were, it wasn't Brenda and I, it was everybody. Because you want to be respectful for what you're charging and of the seniors. Carolyn, I'm trying so hard not to say, Carolyn, what do you think? But as somebody who frequents the senior center, many of you haven't been here when we're open and seeing the
Right.
classes. So you don't
Right.
see our clientele and you don't see our members. So I think holistically, you're looking at our seniors and we're all compassionate people from Human Services. And you want what's best for them and you worry for them, but you haven't seen our members. You haven't seen who's coming and who's going and how many cars are in the parking lot and how many are not frail. A very small percentage of our seniors. Yeah, because from your experience, yeah. But, there's a lot to think about.
It's really hard. I mean, people my age are expression. It's difficult because you get into a mindset. It says, okay, I'll do this today, but I know I can do this, but I don't really. And that supersedes whatever thinking. And I mean, even I have to like.
And I think that's going to affect
Get
registration.
out of it,
I don't think seniors plan ahead, real seniors.
No, I understand what you're saying.
I think 50-year-olds to 60-year-olds plan their exercise schedule, but some days you just don't feel well and you don't want to go exercise. So,
Why pay the
And like today.
or not even paying in advance, but you're not even thinking about, I'm going to register for next week. It's a week in advance, you have to register.
Most places have a register. No, you have to register at the beginning of the session.
Myself,
8 weeks in
today. Do what I have to do. And I said, okay, I have a meeting at 4 o'clock. And I thought, okay, it's raining. I can't walk today. So what am I going to do? And I looked at my computer and I said, okay, I know what I'm going to do. But that's sitting down. That's doing good. That's mentally doing whatever. But I'm not walking. I'm not doing other things than thinking, which is fine. But
What do you think of a membership fee as opposed to paying per class? You
I
were
think
somewhere.
I told you before a little bit about it, and membership fee for out of town people.
No, I'm in town,
I don't
for
know
members. What do you
if
think?
it's not too high. I don't think it's
What is not too high?
maybe over $10. I mean, I'm a limited income one,
I understand.
but services that you get are far beyond
Yes.
what $10 a year
Mhm.
would do. But then you have to have information to deal with it.
Right.
And
Yeah, the bigger picture.
That's the biggest part, I think, of their motivation to get out and do something. I mean, I'm at the point in my life where I can say, okay, I walk, I go to the line. But somebody 88 years old like me might not think it's a great thing to get just out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
it's just, everybody's different.
Yeah, I will say that the registration for the semesters has not been an issue. People will register for the semester. And-
Yeah.
And I don't think having a fee will change that because this way we know that the class will operate and run and that we have enough people to go. But also we can limit the size of it because it was dangerous to have 80 people in that gym.
Yes,
It was
I
dangerous.
just said it was.
Julie,
Yeah.
do you have people, or say my age, that are registering?
Yes, yes, we do. Yeah, we do. We have people in their, we have people in their mid to late 90s registering and coming. No, no pressure, Carolyn, but they're coming. Just saying. Yeah.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
exercise class, there is a form of distance that should be around.
Yes,
Mhm.
well,
Yeah.
definitely in now post-COVID, but we, yeah, that was
Well,
challenging because we had,
pre-COVID.
right, and when we had that huge group, it was all drop-in. And even if, we were limited with that body balance to, I think 30 or 35, and that was a perfect size.
I mean, that's a great compliment to you to get.
Because,
Exercise.
yeah.
I think that's-
but it was also scary. We didn't know who was in the building. They did, every single door and entrance was open, and we really had to tighten up the building to make sure that it was safe.
Now, are the Friends, raising money at all?
Not right now.
Not right now, because I was going to say they could be a good resource for
That's
this.
why I said you should love to do
Right.
this.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
there's-
Friends are dedicated to helping the
Yeah.
senior center, with uncertain things. I don't know, I'm just feeling,
Not so much up here.
do we need to vote at this meeting? Is that what you're?
We can think about it and, have a proposal to vote on or not vote on for next month. The Friends don't pay for the day-to-day operational. Their bylaws limit what they can pay for. Brenda does run our senior provider group, which is the home care agencies and nursing homes and things. And we do have them do programs once a month, twice a month, if you count brain games. And,
Yeah.
I'm not sure we would have them. There's a certain, quid pro quo that goes with that if you have, do too much.
Yeah, because, the comfort level, the members don't want to come in and just have a big sales pitch on the companies. And we don't want to put them in that position and make them feel like they
I
need
used to
to.
have them present on topics.
Yeah,
Oh, they
We
do.
do the same.
Yeah, they do the same, and they have, we just are very clear, you have a few minutes, talk about your services and how our members would benefit.
No sales.
So it's
Right.
sales pitch, so as far as utilizing companies for sponsoring of exercise
Yeah.
programs, it kind of takes it away from our,
No, but making a
offerings.
donation, you do accept donations. It's
Definitely.
charter there.
So, yeah,
That was my point, to
Yeah.
probably get some
Yeah.
flows, but I'm thinking that way.
yeah,
And just to give you an example, we didn't want to put money down for buses to go to casinos, just didn't want to do it. So I would reach out to the local funeral homes. And they would run games on the bus, nothing to do with the funeral home. All the way to Mohegan Sun and all the way back, they have a ball. And then at the end, show a quick little video.
Funeral home.
Just to, we all,
Everybody needs to know about it.
I'm pretty comfortable with our model for how we use the businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I bet they would.
I
Right.
have another question though. Okay, is the issue registration or money or both?
It's, the registration works. That's not changing. We're
So
doing
that's
it
already
symmetric.
in
Yes,
place,
that we're
no
doing.
problem with that.
Yes,
Okay,
we
yeah,
had- and that's-
Member,
oh, gosh.
okay.
Yes. No, it's actually helping.
It's
Yeah.
helping.
Helping,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
that's good.
It's helping, we have online membership now, it's, yeah.
Yeah, that is helping. And everything is nice and easy.
So
We can pay
your
off right
critical
off.
mass is there, so that's good.
Right. Oh, yeah.
That won't get
They got the numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, I'm not concerned. Yeah, the registration it works. We had the software ready to go. We just had never used it. And
Yes,
we had the
I
time.
used my senior center.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is,
Yeah.
it is awesome.
My goodness, they're
And-
really good cook breakfast.
So we had time to have that with Brenda here and also with COVID to have time to learn how to do that. And that's something we've never had the opportunity to do. And it's great. It's the class fee.
My reaction is, I think you gotta try it to know. We could sit here and massage it every week, which way but Sunday. But if you don't put it out there, you're never gonna know.
A real hardcore backlash too, and I'd like to not do that.
Really?
Yeah, I'd like to have a discussion and think it through and look at options and make a decision. as opposed to putting it out there, getting ripped to shreds, and then say, oh, sorry, I,
Well, no, but what I'm saying too is you could go into each class, because you don't have an overwhelming number.
Mhm.
You could go into each class, Brenda, and you could say, listen, we are following, pretty much what other senior centers are doing. And this is what they're charging. And we don't want to just throw it at you, but it's not an option really, but we want to give you a heads up, and you're gonna get a reaction. So, you know what I mean? That might be a way to do it.
Was this question already asked and, why can't?
I actually think that's,
What did you say, Martin?
I just wanted to say, I think that's a really good idea because this way, if you are charging and you have pushback, at least you could say that you queried the membership and, they either are or not comfortable with it. But my guess is if you're talking about a small amount of money, that they recognize that money is needed to run the operations. And I don't think in many cases they would have a major problem, especially if, as you stated, that if they are having a problem, there is an easy way that they're able to get a scholarship so that they wouldn't need to pay, and that's kept very confidential. And you're right, you can massage this a lot of different ways. I don't think there is a right or wrong, but I think at least if you're surveying the people that are most actively involved, and you get feedback from that, and we look at that, at least if there is any pushback at all, we could say, well, we did contact the membership, and they are certainly, this is the way that survey had gone, and that's why we're moving in this direction.
Yeah.
There's no Fairfield Y charge for seniors to take classes,
Mhm.
because Westport Y doesn't.
Yeah, that's,
So then what we do in Fairfield.
Well, just
How much is lunch,
seniors? Is there something
Five?
about Westport that's different?
I just,
Silver Sneakers is free with certain.
Yeah, Westport doesn't have silver seekers, but Fairfield.
does.
I thought they stopped it.
I don't know.
It's a free program. Insurance company.
Yeah, it's right, it depends on your
Medicare.
insurance company. But like Westport, why doesn't he take it at all?
Yes.
And then-
too many conversations going on.
Yeah, I asked, but I mean, Mary Ellen had a question. I don't know if it was answered. Maybe I'm getting confused.
Thank you.
If we only charge non-residents for the class, I think
Yeah, that's
that's.
exactly.
What would that mean? Now, on top of that, we're charging them a membership fee too. So maybe they won't come at all. But should that be another metric to look at, Julie? Since you're so thorough with this, what if we just charge non-residents? To me, honestly, what I would go to is, I think charging what you did pre-COVID is a no-brainer. I think you should do that. And just reinstituting what you had before, it's just we had an emergency situation. As far as the other classes, I don't know. I mean, I didn't know anything about it. Tai Chi to me, I could see, that sounds like something a 55-year-old would go to because it's sexy. I don't see an 85-year-old going into Tai Chi. They're gonna think that it's gonna be fun for 65-year-olds to go. But you told me, I mean, I didn't know that this was, but that's the kind of thing we're trying to foster. And that's why I am reluctant, Julie, to go to classes that we've not charged fees for before. Whereas ones we have, I personally think it's a no-brainer. If we want to charge non-residents more for that, then do that. Would that make it easier than if it's an economic thing that we're talking about?
It's an interesting idea. I don't know that I would do that. But I appreciate, like, I'm thinking of it. If it's about 28% of our members are non-residents and we're charging them that membership fee. And we're talking about residents from Bridgeport, and Westport, but I'm specifically thinking of Tai Chi. They don't have that offered there, and that's not necessarily our job to do it, but it is important to them. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
As we look towards next month, would it be helpful if for next month, you had several different propositions to us. We looked at
putting it out for us, with one of them being charging non-members. I mean, I agree with Joe in terms of returning to the pre-COVID fee structure is just what needs to be done as we move back into
Mhm.
life again. But for the options, looking at different, I just was playing with numbers. If we charge $3 per class, it's $288. Sorry, if someone takes 2 classes a week and it's $3 per class, it's $288 a year. $4 a class is almost $400 a year. That's real money when you look at it that way.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm coming from in terms of my reluctance to jump into this. So I would like if next month we're able to look at some options, only charging, if 28% are non-members, what percentage attend our exercise classes and only charging them? Would that alleviate some of the overcrowding in some of the classes? I'm cognizant of the need to pay for our instructors, looking at only charging a fee structure for some of the classes, like keeping the Tai Chi and the balance and the yoga classes free, and some of the other ones we charge. Looking at different structures and which one feels palatable and something that we could embrace.
I get it. I guess honestly, what I would say is look through this for us. We've looked at those options and they don't work for staff, for the building. So to go back and revisit and to do a presentation on that, those are not ones I believe in. So it would be it might be objective, but that's why we got you all this information.
Yeah.
I'm happy to put together information about the money for it, and how much we would take in. I think that's a great exercise.
Yeah.
But just for us, it's ease of use and ease of running these classes. We have learned a lot over COVID. We are incredibly respectful of our members, but to break down a whole bunch of options at this point after we've looked at this for a really long time does not seem like a good use of our time.
And I will just say this, for some of the courses that the exercise classes that pre-COVID, they were charging for, I mean, body balance, you can't really just handpick. I mean, if they're all exercise classes, so we would get more backlash if we charge for just some and not others.
Yeah.
Before, I mean,
But-
I disagree with that, because I think you can say, this is what we charge in these classes. We didn't charge for during COVID. And so to me, it's a natural thing that now that things over, going back to pre-COVID.
Yeah, but some of our
I would think
exercise.
it'd be an easier thing to do than just.
Yeah, but some of our exercise classes will also change. We're looking into a bar class because that was interest. So these specific classes are not necessarily what we may, have in the future. And
I have a question that has nothing really to do with this, but as close to the lunch. How should we charge for the lunch? And did we raise the price and how did that work out?
Well, that is a fabulous question. Right. So during COVID, we had drive-through lunches and we home delivered more than 24,000 lunches and charged none.
Wow.
Yeah, it was huge.
Right.
yeah,
Right, free, that we covered with
That's
donations,
Crazy.
which is a good use of donations in my book.
Beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
And we did drive-through lunches and charged $5 for like a barbecue or a special lunch. That was fun. Our lunch program pre-COVID, we had originally, like years back, we had it's all through Older Americans Act. We had a caterer that our catchment area uses, and seniors petitioned to get rid of them, and we brought in a different caterer. So it used to be a suggested donation of $3 to $5. Then it was $5 for lunch. Unsustainable. It was too expensive. Then COVID hit, and we used to go, when we were gradually coming back, we would have to drive to Westport or to Norwalk to pick up the food and bring it up here. And we were serving the meals and cleaning them all up. That's not something we could do when we have a food service. In February, we resumed food service with the previous caterer. They're called CW Resources, and that's the catchment area for SWACA for the lunch program for Older Americans Act. They make the food, bring it, serve it, and collect for it. It's a suggested donation, anonymous donation of $3 to $5. The seniors are given an envelope. They put their donation in the envelope and put it in a box. We have nothing to do with that money. We're not paying anything out of pocket for that anymore. The food is average. It's nobody is gonna, bring their grandchildren in for an amazing lunch. But it's nutrition, everything has to be approved by the state. It's different food, but it's good. And what we're trying to do to be sure that, it stays good is Brenda does a weekly survey of the seniors about how the lunch is. And their feedback is incredibly valuable because, pork, they're sick of. Fish on Fridays is great for Lent, but not everybody celebrates Lent, so let's not have that. There's Brenda worked out a, salad option, like a meal salad option with them if you don't want the meal, or a sandwich option. So it's working, and we're not using donations for that anymore. We use donations for special lunches and scholarships.
Do you have a warming kitchen? We do.
And our kitchen will be renovated, but it will still be a warming kitchen. The senior nutrition program is a model that is fading. You know, seniors don't necessarily want to come for meatloaf. You know, let's say everybody here is over 50, but Sheila, right? So lunches, so nobody is coming. You're not going to come to the senior center for lunch in the middle of the day because you're working, you have jobs, you have activities, you have things you want to do. So it's a small group. We're only doing lunch 3 days a week now. So when we do lunch, it is a small group. It used to be a lot larger, but something we talk about a lot is that the seniors are coming back and their tables are different. You know, they've lost friends are in nursing homes, friends have moved away. And it's not that they have to resume and rebuild that camaraderie that they lost. One of the programs we're working with the Agency on Aging on is a senior dine program, which is like a restaurant program that you go, like the kids at Fairfield View or Sacred Heart do. You go to a restaurant, swipe your card, senior would pay $4 and the Older Americans Act would cover the remainder. So the restaurants would get like $11 for a meal and the seniors would pay $4 and tip. But we're working with restaurants on that. That's not something coming soon.
We also seem to now like to be out at restaurants, and we have so many wonderful restaurants.
Right.
That's a very.
It is. It is. And, you know, it could be diners. So what's hard is getting the program started, and Agency on Aging is in charge of that. Thank God. I'm working. So,
There's it's a great,
That's a hard one to
but that could be an option, that, you know, is a good option.
So does everybody want to just, because I want to bring this back in, does everybody just want to wait for those numbers for next month's meeting so we kind of know what that revenue stream is going to be? And it gives us a better idea of how to really vote? Is that okay if you only?
That's fine.
for 1 month?
that's perfect. What we need to find out is when that money comes in, it goes into the general fund. So we've got to learn the finance piece of that. And where, if we were, you know, when I do want to get to the membership fee for out of towners and where that money goes, you know, how we are able to use that. That's something we need to learn because we haven't had to.
Good.
Can I also ask, and again, because I'm new, I'm not familiar with a lot of this, but has anybody looked at foundations or grants for some of to supplement some of the costs, like the Fairfield County Community Foundation, that might be interested in supporting some of the services that you're talking about that, you know, we don't get funding from directly from the town of Fairfield?
We are not a 501c3. Since we're a municipality, we're kind of limited with grants, which is why we were hoping our friends would be able to do some grants. But that was something Suzanne had been talking about, trying to get donations to cover some of these classes or services.
Okay.
But, no, we have.
Yeah.
So you could do a grant, right? If someone were to volunteer to write grants from the friends.
Well, listen, that's the other thing. I mean, let's say we get the information next meeting and we agree, let's move forward. If a grant is possible down the road to write for, you can always give a discount.
Right.
But at least you're conditioning them to understand that there's now a fee associated with these classes.
Right.
And we're only following what, like 75% of the other seniors, the senators across the state are doing.
Right.
169. Is it only 30?
No, we have, no, there was one sheet that had 30 senior centers.
Yeah.
I'll actually break that down.
We'll get that number too. But I think that, you know, it gives us time all to process this, come up with further questions, but really what's been researched and put down is really helpful. I mean, this is awesome. And it gives us all an opportunity, and we promise next week, we will move forward with an answer.
Thank you
Right,
for your patience with us, though. I feel bad because Julie has to keep.
Well, yeah, no, I
kind of keep that.
Really gonna talk this through.
Right.
Now when it happened, it's great.
Right.
I mean, I think you got everybody.
I mean, it's easy.
Yeah, it's, you know, with,
I
here, with the social worker in me is free, everybody free, but you know, the senior center side of us, right, this is, you know, it's,
sometimes process is a good thing, but when you're on your end of it, it's not so
Right.
easy.
appreciate the dialogue, Barbara, thank you. Sometimes I appreciate the dialogue,
It's
yeah.
really great, very helpful, and thank you both. Really. Now, Lori MacArthur had a question that, I am not clear what issues are. The frail need the classes and they are the ones not able to get to location. So many connections. Hold on. She can speak up.
She can't, she's trying to go.
Okay. Oh, she said, I've been sending these questions in chat. I don't want to interrupt. She must not, no.
Oh, because you know, it's turning around the other way.
Turned around, Lori. We're so sorry. One of the other questions she asked was, are there volunteers at the senior center that can go out and help the elderly? That's a whole other issue.
Yes,
And Lori, I would suggest if you're looking for some, you might want to meet with one of the social workers. Because they'll get you in touch with.
You know what? I can talk, actually. I didn't want to interrupt you guys because you were having this ongoing conversation. I wasn't really clear on the issues you were talking about. I was wondering, because you were talking about the frail elderly, do you have volunteers that go out from the senior center? And if you do, you know, I have access to a lot of other like agencies and stuff that would probably be able to help, and it would be at no cost. And I know that you're charging for classes, but these frail elderly, they don't even know what they need. So if there are people who are volunteering, do you have that, or is that something that's in discussion about having volunteers that go out to homes?
no, we don't have those, and that's a liability for the town. We do recommend agencies who provide services. If somebody is home and, you know, has medical issues, or a doctor or got home from the hospital and needs physical therapy, that is beyond us. And we,
Got it.
yeah, we do not send volunteers out to do that. We did try, Lori, the iPads to try to engage seniors who couldn't get here or were afraid to come, because some just were nervous about COVID and about being here. That didn't take off, surprisingly. And yeah, you know, I would hope that it would have, but it just, and we tried, we dropped some off to a few people, and they just didn't, you know, having it all set up, it didn't take off for us.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's a generational thing, just because of where my mother is at. It's just generational. Unfortunately, there's not a knowledge base for them to even understand that.
Yeah.
Glad you could join us now, Lori.
I've been trying to be quiet. I've been listening, and I really wanted to say something, so please forgive me, because I wasn't really clear what was a liability, and I didn't want to say something and waste time, because I know time is precious.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
thank
respectful of you. The other thing is the out-of-town membership fee. Our suggestion would be $25 for out-of-town members. And that's something.
It should be higher. Yeah, it should be higher.
Well,
I don't think that'll discourage, you know, if you've got Westport and Wilton, and that demographic can afford more, and maybe that would offset some of the other costs here involved, because they have their own seniors.
Wait, Westport doesn't have a membership fee.
Do the Westport folks come here or do the
Yes.
Westport folks?
It's full.
Actually, I'll go 28%, you said.
Yeah, 28% out of town.
That's a lot.
That's
All for, no, if not, I would charge them more money, and not charge the $2.
Or else charge them class? Yeah.
Okay, I think we got to have one conversation at a time, but
What about your Bridgeboro obligation?
They have a lot of services available,
Right, but they're coming to more.
it is.
You know what, I really think it's going to be really helpful if everybody has an opportunity to look at the comparisons, because like Stanford charges $50.
Right.
Because they're
And you
not.
know their taxes are high too, so, yeah. Anyway,
Well, they're nonprofit.
are we good to move on to department update? Julie?
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Yeah,
Look
you
fast,
can go
Barbara,
ahead.
don't you worry.
Everybody bring your dinner next time.
Horrible when people engage the commission. All right, go for it, Brenda.
Really, things are going well. A lot of people are coming through. We've had some great events with a lot of, large attendance numbers. As Julie mentioned, semester registration for the spring, which starts April 1st through the end of June. Registration went well. People are getting used to it, change, like we mentioned at first, it's like, what? But people they're on it and they're figuring it out. And they're happy to be doing it.
Did everybody in this group register yet?
No, I haven't.
I have.
Please get in touch with Brenda and register. She will help.
Let's go online, fairfield.
You don't need help.
You
It's
can
so
do it-
easy.
Do it all online.
It's kind of embarrassing that we're on the commission. and some of us aren't.
Just saying.
I didn't know you had to register.
I didn't.
You have to be a member. Yeah, we
Well,
need,
I have a member, but you say we have to register as well.
Yes, every year.
every year you have to be a
I
member.
noticed last year.
I only registered Blackboard.
I don't,
I know.
Maybe one day we'll have an orientation. We'll all have coffee. We'll treat it like a new member's coffee. That would be good.
During the day.
Right.
It's such a fun year.
And I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, one second. So things are going well.
A lot of great stuff.
Really happy. Yeah, and people are happy. They're happy to be back.
And what about you, Miss Julie?
So the only other couple of things is that, we are working with Fairfield Senior Advocates on the age-friendly initiative. We're hoping to get that started in June after the budget season. And certainly anybody who's interested in participating in that, we would love to have you help. We are, sorry, I just totally spaced out. Our budget. We had our first budget hearing last week with Board of Finance. I had the Board of Selectmen budget a couple weeks ago, then the Board of Finance, and we'll have the RTM meeting. There's a public meeting at Ludlow High School this weekend. If you wanted to go and ask questions of the Board of Finance, I believe it's 9:30. Yeah, it's early, but it's not a conversation, but it's a public comment session. You have 2 minutes to say your piece. They don't need to respond to you, and that frustrates people if they've not gone before. We are asking for Brenda's position to go full-time and our social services coordinator position to go full-time. And we'll combine the senior center director position with the program coordinator's position. And we had a wonderful program coordinator in the fall, and she left us in December. But since we've kind of transitioned into the hope of having a full-time position, it's smoother. There's a continuity with Brenda being able to do both of those and to work with us. It's made for a much more cohesive team. And social services, that continuity with the clients is huge for us. So if you support that request and have an inclination to send a letter or an email to Board of Finance, RTM, and Board of Selectmen, we'd appreciate it. All those meetings are online WebEx like this, so there's no need to go in person, but any support that you're willing to offer, we'll take and be very, very grateful. The only last thing, two more things. If you look at the Parks and Rec website, there's a master plan meeting coming up. If you want to comment, you can still also send comments about what you would like to see in the Parks and Rec plan, whether it's, turf fields, better sidewalks, more activities. But now is the opportunity to have that conversation and to have your input included. And, oh my God, what was the last thing? Oh, veterans. We're working with Tom Bremer, who is the Chief Administrative Officer, about working on having Fairfield become a Purple Heart City. And I'll keep you posted on that. That could be great for us. But it's in process. It's just not there yet. Any questions?
Is that a veteran? I mean, I'm just curious.
It is
What's the
purple, yeah.
criteria? A certain number of veterans, or you can provide a certain veteran program?
Here's a scary thought. Shouldn't say that. I'm the municipal agent for the elderly and for veterans. So if there's a veteran who comes to us in need of services, we have a budget line for assistance for veterans. I am not an expert in it, but we have, thank God, a lot of support from the Department of Veterans Affairs. But we have a great community of veterans, and they're trying to revitalize both Legion halls and get more involvement.
I mean, I think that's a great thing. It's a designation as a purple
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, relatively new. It is great. Yeah.
And something good to their veterans.
It just acknowledges that there's a population of Purple Heart recipients and that we're town friendly to that. And, you know, proud of
I'm
us,
sorry, you're the municipal agent for veterans and what?
the elderly,
Elderly.
because that's a thing.
Excellent.
That's all I got. Any questions?
No, that's great. I really appreciate you gals putting all this time
Yeah.
in. We're a chatty group.
The discussion helps.
Yes.
It does. I don't mean to keep digging my heels in, but it does help us form this.
That's why we have it.
Yeah.
It's healthy.
Everybody's got to.
Yeah.
start to bring to-
Right.
Yep.
Yes, you have a lot of experience. We're lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you two on the screen, we so appreciate you being with us. Thank you.
Oh, wait, public comment.
Thank you.
We got her.
Okay.
Yep. Herb, are you still on?
Herb is here, and he'll be very quick.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. So just three really very quick things. So Julie talked about age friendly, and we're pleased with the way it's coming along. And as Julie mentioned, our hope is that maybe to get the application letter signed around June or thereabouts. And in the meantime, we're working with, in terms of lining up support from the universities, because there'll be a lot of, work to be done along the line.
Oh, we lost you, Herb.
He froze.
Sacred Heart and Fairfield.
Herb, he froze.
Well, we don't know yet. I've approached both social work schools and Herb and the Fairfield Senior Advocate. We patiently waited out.
Oh,
And to see if they could help with surveys or doing the, yeah, they do. Right. Right. And we could have, we're looking, I've been in touch with social works and Herb and the Fairfield Senior Advocates have been in touch with other areas like sociology and yeah.
It just had the name, we lost his
Oh.
picture, his face.
I want to be more helpful for subsequent meetings if we turn the screen so the two of you can see the screen, but face the camera out.
We did that last time, but what's hard is that Marty didn't get to see any of you. So he was,
Be sure the camera.
Yeah, I mean-
faces this way.
I really like seeing all of you. I'm just
you get to
wondering, but
see Marty and he,
Are we?
Me too.
Close
could
up.
Herb call in?
What?
Me too. It's nice to
Herb-
see all of
Herb
you.
call in. Yeah, well, thank you. Just wondering if Herb could call in since he's having some problem with the transmission.
Close up.
Would you like to see?
I'm signing off, just so
Okay.
you know, you guys.
Okay, the other two things Herb was going to talk about is the affordable housing group. I think what we can do is send out to you his report on affordable housing and also the legislation that's before the state senate and state house so that you have that information. Bill Lenahan has worked really hard on the legislation piece of it, and they've all been working on the affordable housing piece of it. And I think it's important to share that because it impacts not only seniors, but all residents.
The 832 or something else, the one that's found right now.
Oh, are you there? Herb?
I think we got-
No, not the 830G, but the town's affordable housing plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's
That's in the strategic plan that we've yet to see.
right, but there's also, legislation on Medicare and home health aid pay and home care pay and home care, eligibility for Medicaid. So if somebody is in a nursing home, the spouse at home doesn't have to spend down, like a lot of really good ideas coming
Yeah,
in.
that is good.
Yeah.
And where is that?
That's in the state that's their proposed bills. But they have a packet that we could probably send to everybody so you have it, because it's great information.
That's great.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions? Tell Herb, we're really sorry. We lost you totally. Yeah, that's where we're. But I would like to, I look forward to seeing you all next month, April 28th. And there is a program here at 1:30, the Butler from.
The White House Butler. The White House
Same
Butler.
day.
Oh, yeah, not a movie, the retired one. One of the Butlers is coming and speaking. You have to be a member and register. Having a tea party.
It's outlined in there. Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Second, any comments? All in favor?
Bye.
You.
Marty, the most patient person in America.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you
See
so
you.
much.
Take care.